people go out and they vote on an amendment, they vote on the constitutional amendment, they vote on a ballot language, and they expect the legislators to implement it, not to play the games.
Thank you very much. Mr. Martinez, I'd like to start the next round with you, if it's okay. And I'd like to ask you your opinion of the bullet train and whether that's our ultimate solution for transportation in the state of Florida, or if we should be looking in other directions.
I guess to answer the question, I don't think it's the ultimate solution. First of all, it doesn't have the funding we have. But actually, I happen to be on the South Link board. I was appointed to it, which is transportation for South Dade for the busway. And we looked at the 7 options for South Dade in terms of everything from bus rapid transit to Metro Rail. And one of the solutions, right now obviously money is limited. So initially I represent unincorporated Dade on the board, and we had other representatives of all the different cities, and we all unanimously recommended Metro Rail. There's no funding right now, and I won't even mention the half-penny sales tax that went in elsewhere for that funding. But one of the proposals is to have elevations or bridges over the main intersections, like Kendall Drive and so on. And so that will provide a solution. And if it's fee-based, it doesn't provide any requirements for the government. It provides rapid access for buses and emergency vehicles. Also, another proposal of MDX is to extend 836 all the way to Chrome. So wouldn't it be nice to have another option where folks from Kendall, instead of going down Kendall Drive or the Palmetto or the Turnpike, went all the way to those that live all the way down near and West Kendall can go all the way down there. It's a long-term project that will provide employment and also provide infrastructure. So one of the things that I belong to Municipal Task Force on Transportation, and they talk a lot about traffic circles. But I'd rather not have a lot of traffic circles. I'd rather have some major project that in 10 years from now we can say provide solution. Because you all sit around and complain and say, why didn't they do this 10 years ago? So we should do that. The bullet train would be nice if we had unlimited resources, but we don't. And that should be a long-term. Metro itself, right now, is projected like 30 years from now. So, thank you.
Okay. The bullet train versus high-speed rail, I want to make it clear that they are a little bit different. As far as the bullet train, it's not suiting a purpose, I think, large enough for the expense that's being put into it, though things can be improved. More important, I think, high-speed rail to the state of Florida for the movement of cargo and business matter more efficiently through the state from our ports, an area, a great area we have an advantage of that we don't really utilize to its best. Transit, mass transit here in Miami-Dade County is very poorly planned. The system that we have here is not serving enough people because it's not convenient. If we had a more convenient system, we'd have more people use it. Also, we're about pretty much giving away the service. The folks who actually pay to use the system, for the most part, are few and far between. There are so many breaks and deals given, not that certain people shouldn't have it. But this should be more for the masses. It's not efficient. We need to come up with better ways to pay for it. So I'm not a big fan of high-speed rail from the Orlando, Miami kind of stuff, but I am into high-speed rail for the movement of cargo and business matter, and I'm more for better transit decisions made here in our community to serve the more convenient need of the public and get to Wall Street.
Okay, I will respectfully disagree with Dr. Solomon. I think that high-speed rail, or not, the bullet train along Orlando, Miami is very economically feasible. I am in possession of a study that was done about 10 years ago by the county, along with Broward County, that specifically stipulates that it is not only economically feasible, but necessary. And that study was put away in a little lockbox by, at the request of the taxi and limousine lobby in Miami-Dade County, who did not want any sort of high-speed rail or any sort of rail system at all. Now, how interesting that high-speed, that Orlando-Miami lane, what happened to that? It's going to Tampa, Orlando now. Why? Who did that? Who did that? And what happened? Because they got federal stimulus money to do that. Why didn't we get it? You know why? Because Central Florida does not want to share tourism dollars with Miami-Dade County. That's it. It's very simple. You don't have to get all specific and crazy. It's very simple. Now, the money was diverted. Money was diverted from the League Against Cancer, just to put to get the rail changed to Tampa, Orlando. There's a whole lot of interesting things. You got to follow the money, people. Follow the money. You're gonna get all your answers. Now, on Metro Rail, it is the train that gets you from where you don't live to where you're not going. You need to do an east-west line. You need to do an east-west line from the beach to the UDB. You have to do it. I mean, we have an incredible population in the West. They have absolutely no mass transit whatsoever. How can we talk about alluring companies down here the way Georgia's doing now if we don't have a mass transit system that makes sense? Now, Commissioner Martinez, Joe Martinez, who publicly endorsed my campaign, came up with a very interesting idea of using the current rail system, the CSX lines that are not being used, go right by the airport. They go east-west. And using those and retrofitting those with trains from Japan that already run. We could retrofit them to those existing cargo trains, and you could switch, well, whatever. I'll talk to you guys afterwards if you want to talk about rail. I have a lot of things to say about it.
Let's talk about Sunrail, and let's talk about yet another instance where the Dade delegation failed us. We have to elect strategic thinkers, people that understand what leverage is. We have the largest voting bloc in the state. Yet our delegation is willing to vote for millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of projects to go in other people's backyards. I am a strategic thinker. I grew up that way. And I am not going to vote for something, and I'm going to try to talk to other people in the delegation not to vote for something if it doesn't mean that we're not getting something back. That is the way Congress has worked for hundreds of years. Somewhere, somehow, we lost chess players in the Dade delegation, and we're suffering as a result. I think that the Sunrail and the rail projects are short-sighted. I don't remember driving to Orlando and facing a lot of traffic. I do remember every single day of my life driving to downtown Miami and being stuck in an hour worth of traffic. I think we need to be thoughtful in the way we plan our cities. The city was planned at a time when people did not have one car per family member, where the city and the county were not as densely populated. We need to encourage urban infill projects where people are moving to the center of the city, where we're not continuing to build in the sprawl that's already having concurrency issues, not only for our school, but for our traffic and our water. Our services are being pulled in a million directions. And when we're talking about all these things, and we're going to look at the sprawl, because ladies and gentlemen, District 115 and District 117 is in the sprawl, we need to look at other models. I'm part of a think tank called the Miami Fellows Initiative, and we just sent a group of 20 young leaders to Bogota, Colombia, that has one of the most efficient systems of public transport in the world, the Transmilenio. We met with their directors to talk about providing more reliable, efficient means of public transportation here. That's the type of leader that we need, somebody that's willing to look at what other people are doing that's working and implementing it here in a thoughtful way that helps the citizens of this county that need it.